Okay, so I wasn't originally going to do an intro on this one, but I decided that this is weird enough that I might as well kind of just give a little more explanation. I did a lot of explanation in the video while I was working on the laptop, but I figured I'd do a little more explanation as to what is exactly going on here. So you can't, well, no, you can tell. So this thing is an absolutely monstrous laptop. Look, oh my, forgot I pulled all my storage out of this thing. I used to have a ton of, I used to have like 9 terabytes of SSDs in this thing. So I bought this several years ago. This is an 8-year-old laptop. This is an everything and the kitchen sink model. As you can tell, it's thick. It does things that you don't get on a normal laptop. It's got a desktop processor, desktop grade video card, things like that. But it runs like a jet engine. And so I decided to pull the 8700K that is in it now out of it and exchange it for an i7 8700 I received in a build a few days ago. And hopefully that'll make it run a little cooler. I'm fairly certain that most of the noise is actually from the CPU and not the GPU. If that's accurate, then this should at the very least let me use it under normal circumstances without it jet engineing. It's so loud I have to have headphones on while I'm using it or it's distracting. So anyway, for anyone that wonders, this is this model is a Clevo P870 TM1. This was also sold by Origin. Most of you, the only thing you'd recognize this as, if it had an Origin symbol on there, you'd recognize it. But in any case, let's, like I said, I'm going to go over some of this in the video. I wasn't originally planning on doing this part of the video, so there's some redundancy here. But let's jump into it, and I'm going to show you how you pull the full desktop socketed CPU out of this monster gaming laptop. So let's get into it and have a little fun, and I would say hopefully not break the laptop. But as you can see, I already did the change and I didn't break the laptop. So we're good there. So anyway, I hope you guys find this interesting and a little bit something different. Okay, so this is kind of a new one. I figured might as well make some content out of it. So I am replacing the processor in my old gaming laptop. This is one of those really monstrous desktop ones where it's basically got a desktop processor, desktop parts. At the moment, it has a i7 8700K in it. I'm going to be replacing that actually with a less powerful i7 8700 non-K. And it's actually a pretty big difference. But for my uses that I have for this laptop today, I don't need the K chip in it. But what I do need is for this thing to not sound like a frigging jet engine. And the non-K chip is a, I believe, 65 watt part. Well, the K chip is a 95 watt part, which is it's a pretty big difference. So it is true that the K is faster. Like I said, I just don't need it anymore. To be honest, the non-K is fast enough for probably anything that you can actually throw at this thing. But the problem is, dang it, the K just produces a crap load of heat. And the thing is literally a jet engine. And I'm hoping that it's the CPU and not the GPU because, come on. Gotta get this thing out. What's going on here? Usually just giving it a good tap. There we go. don't want to have to hit it that hard, but also what tends to end up happening is that even if it's completely unscrewed, if it's not actually removed, the threads will get caught. The threads on the screw will get caught on the threading in the hole, and it won't let you pull it won't let you pull out the part or the bottom. It'll get caught on that threading and just be a huge pain in the ass. So you always want to fully remove it if possible. Okay, so let's see if I can get this out. It's not working. If I remember right, it's been a long time since I opened this thing. I've had 2 of these. So this is a Clevo P870 TM1, I believe is what this is called. I've had a couple of these, and there it goes. Okay, gotta be careful. My other one actually died on me during a CPU change. I didn't do anything weird with it, but it literally like self-destructed. It was the craziest thing. So I honestly would rather not open this thing if possible. But in this case, I don't even use it anymore because the thing runs so damned loud when I use it that, oops, I guess it has a, looks like it's got a removal sequence here, but I'd rather just do them one at a time slowly. Okay. Can't remember. Oh, there's one there. I used to do a lot of this kind of work, but I don't do a lot of this stuff anymore. I wonder how badly my CPU compound's almost completely dried out. Okay, so let's remove that. So usually you want to use a little bit of alcohol. I generally would recommend trying to keep the towel from running. That's a little runnier than I wanted to. Okay. I think I used good quality compound too. I think I used, I don't know, it's probably like Arctic Silver or something. I know there's better stuff now, but generally Arctic Silver is still regarded as, I don't know if it's, no, it wasn't Arctic Silver. It was Arctic MX5, I think. I have a big tube of MX5. Yeah, so this one is a 3.7 gigahertz i7 8700K. So as you can see here, this is a socketed desktop CPU in a laptop, though I'm guessing most people that would watch my channel know what this is, have seen something like this, but if you haven't, now you have. So this thing is essentially, I think the specs said that it was either a Z370 or a Z390. I should have pulled the battery, but I forgot. These ones have an internal battery. It's really dumb. I should have pulled that. But you know what? On my other one, when I killed it, it had a removable battery. And you know what? Obviously, I removed it because it was removable and it still killed it. So I don't think that was the cause of death. Let's see here. Looks like I have MX4 here. Now on this, I'm going to do a, let's see if I can find a plastic bag. I'm gonna spread it properly. I normally don't, but on this one, I don't see any reason not to. With it being a laptop and with these things being a little more sensitive, I'm gonna do this right, just cause. So I put a piece of plastic on my finger. So one, it keeps my, gosh darn it, my finger from getting all that crap all over it. But I find it also works better too. Let's see here. I probably should have gotten one of those fancy new thermal pads or whatever that they're always raving about on the big channels, but I didn't think about it, and honestly, this is fine. Wait, did I did swap, right? Yeah, I did. I do want the 8700K for a specific build. But I didn't have to go that route. That's just the route I decided I wanted to go. If this doesn't have the the desired effect, and I still suspect at that point that it is CPU related and not GPU related. The next step was to buy either an i7 8700, I think S. I don't think they have a T model of the 8700. Either that or a i7 or an i9. I was thinking maybe an i9 9900T, which is a very energy efficient, low power version of the 9900K that you guys are familiar with. It's basically a low clock 9900K, more or less. Okay, so interestingly, you guys can see, so this has a GTX 1080 in it. It will take up to a 2080. I've heard people have put 3080s in them. I don't do that kind of modding with my stuff. It's not my gig. I believe drop in upgrade, the highest you can go is the GTX 2080 or the RTX 2080. But I almost bought one. In fact, I did buy it. I clicked buy on one that was on eBay, and I literally, I was about to buy it. It was a killer deal. There was an eBay seller that was selling them for like $50 a piece or something. It was stupid cheap. But then after I had already clicked buy, I realized that the 2080 requires a different heatsink than the 1080. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go order a heatsink. Couldn't be that bad. And no, I went online and it was like, it's like $150 for the stupid heatsink. And I was like, okay, so this just isn't worth it. Like, I like the laptop, but the laptop's worth, I mean, even with a 2080, it would probably, I mean, it's different than your average 2080 laptop. Okay, this is not like a normal 2080 laptop, but even so, I think this thing with the 2080 would only be worth like $600, maybe $700, something like that. Like, not that much. And so I just didn't. I mean, this is a laptop from, I think, 2017. It would have been like a $5,000 laptop in 2017. But it's just, that was then, this is now. What is that, 8 years ago now? It's an 8-year-old laptop. That's almost a decade. My car, I bought my car new in 2018 or 2017. So I just didn't see it as a good spend. What did I miss? What did I miss? I just missed something. Oh, I missed a couple of the screws in the heatsink. Darn it. Well, not the heatsink itself. The fan had a separate... I feel like I missed something else. So there's more screws there than there should be. Okay, yeah, these short ones were for the... Darn it. I do not want to have to open this back up. Darn it. Really wanted this to be a one and done. Yeah, I just don't do this kind of work very often anymore. I'm really hoping that this will cool this thing down. And I think it's, let me look when I open it up again, but I think, I missed the center screw. What the heck? This is how you know I don't really do this a whole lot anymore. I used to do this a ton. I used to work like I used to work more on laptops than desktops, actually. I got out of it. Okay, let's see here. So we missed... Okay, so the short ones are for this. Yeah, it used to be back in the day, if you like 10 years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, back like when I first got into this, it would be like if you got a laptop and it had either a working CPU, or not working CPU, a working motherboard or a working screen. If it had either of those, you could sell it and make money on it. But now, like if you have one tiny little thing wrong with them, there's no money to be made. Let's see here. I feel like this is too long. These are all long. You know, that screw isn't actually necessary. I am going to leave that. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so if anything, I'm missing a screw. Man, I probably missed one years ago. I don't know what just happened there, but it's a really good thing that that screw didn't get a flop around in my laptop. Now, the thing that sucks about this, and I hope I didn't jack this up, because I'm going to be really pissed if I did, is that laptops, when they have a battery in them, if it's connected, there's parts of this thing that have power going through it. It's not always the case, but it can happen where you get a laptop and you forget to unplug the battery like I did, and you accidentally drop a screw somewhere and it kills it because there's actually live power going through these things still in some cases, even when you think it's turned off. Like it'll be, I don't know if that's only if it's in like hibernation or standby or something, but I do know that you can have a situation where you think your laptop is off, you work on it, and you fry something. I think I've maybe done it once or twice. Back in the day, I used to get bulk laptops, so I'd get like stacks of like 20 of them. And so what would happen was that like I'd get like 20 of them, and I buy them in bulk, so I only paid like 10 bucks a piece or something for them. So if I accidentally fried something on one of them, like I didn't really care. Like they weren't laptops that cost me over $1,000 like this thing did. They were just rando laptops and I didn't give a crap. Okay, let's this sucker's either gonna work or it's not. That should have been a completely drop-in upgrade. There should be no yeah, let's see if I can show it. Let's see if we come on. Okay, it turned on. That's a good sign. Let's see if I get anything on the screen. Come on. I guess it might take it a second. Or we might have a problem. This might take it a sec, though. Sometimes when you put new hardware in, it does. Let's see what it does. We might. Oh, there it goes. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, we're going into Windows. I don't know why, but my most recent, I hadn't used this thing for probably 6 months, and then my screen, for some reason, the backlight goes out before it turns on. I'm not sure why. It did. I don't think it used to do it. As far as I know, it didn't used to do that. So I'm not sure why it does that now. And believe it or not, this thing does actually have a battery in it. Let's see here. So it should be quieter than it used to be. I'm hoping that putting that 8700 non-K in it will drop the heat down to maybe more like it was just on battery before. If this doesn't do the job, though, like I said, the next stop is some sort of S or T model Intel chip that's like specifically ultra low voltage. But these were supposedly you can drop up to a 9900K in it, but let's see what the temperature's running at. So it's at idle, but still 42 Celsius. What does that equate to? Like 120 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. Let's see. 42 C to F. 107 degrees. Okay. Let's see if it's staying or rising though. So it is getting warmer. It is all over the place though. But at least it works. So I didn't screw the laptop up. So at least there's that. Because I really I don't use this thing anymore, but also it's a good laptop. I didn't want to. It's unique too, and I wasn't planning on buying another one just because it's not what I need anymore. So I kind of didn't want to kill it, but I also I didn't want to kill. It wasn't end of the day if I did, but I didn't want to. So anyway, though, I hope you guys found this to be just an interesting one-off item on my channel, and thanks for watching.